time to wake up is now. So many have been trying to get to the truth. Out to you groups like Anonymous, 911truth.org, and wearechange.org, and Infowars.com. And now you are here at another radio that's the Minutemen Radio with the Mark Phillip broadcast, a place where truth and freedom ring.
It is to Madame Justice that I dedicate this concerto in honor of the holiday she seems to have taken in these parts, and in recognition of the impostor that stands in her stead. Tell me, do you know what day it is, Evie?
November the 4th.
Not anymore. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. First, the overture. Yes, the strings. Listen carefully, can you hear it? Now the brass.
I can hear it. Look outside, Bunny. They're playing music. How did you do that?
Wait, here comes the crescendo.
Greetings all Anons and concerned citizens of the world, we are Anonymous. Because of the countless atrocities our government has committed and the demand of the people, we have formed this declaration. We have made it clear that we do not agree with the current system of tyrannical taxing and control of the people. As of now, we declare our independence from the United States government. From this date on, we will be rebuilding the system. We the people will no longer comply with your unjust laws, your spying, your violations of our human rights, police brutality, central banking, taxation without representation, the lying politicians who are bought through donations and controlled by private interests, and the two-party puppet system that simulates choice but always leads to the same thing. No longer will we be slaves to a system that does not listen to us. Henceforth, we the people will not comply with any gun bans, mandatory gun registrations, or government buyback plans. This includes executive orders or any unconstitutional bills that may make it through Congress. These would be violations of our Fourth Amendment right as well as our Second. We no longer have faith in our illegally elected officials or the people that they put into power without any vote. As such, we will comply with the Bill of Rights and the Constitution only. Any law that is not in the Bill of Rights and our Constitution will be removed from the books because they have been perverted by private interests and the power elites' desires for decades. To uncover any corruption, it will be required that all laws are written legibly and simply. This will prevent loopholes and hidden agendas that may be cleverly phrased. The central banking system is as of now, rejected by the people. We will not comply with your interest rates that do not truly exist. No longer will you print money without backing, destroying our economy and driving us into the dust. This current system is devaluing the dollar and is unsustainable. As such, a new monetary system will be developed by the people and will consist of interest-free money. The bankers will be held accountable for bankrupting our nation's economy and will face trial. It is not acceptable that they have been stealing our wealth for centuries. These individuals will be charged with crimes against humanity as well as fraud and, at the higher levels of command, treason. Surveillance is an unconstitutional act. The Patriot Act, H.R. 347, the National Defense Authorization Acts of 2012 and 2013, and Obama's new cybersecurity executive order are just a few examples of the current government attempting to strip away our constitutionally guaranteed rights. We will not comply with these laws and henceforth will do everything in our power to stop unconstitutional surveillance and the policing of citizens. This great nation was founded on the principalities of freedom. The first revolution was fought over taxation. This time the taxation was hidden within your banking system and the unconstitutional corporation, the IRS. We are still taxed without representation, as our government does not truly represent the people anymore. Our politicians' main concerns are to line their pockets with taxpayer money and bribes cleverly called donations. No longer. This administration has the nerve to call great men such as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson terrorists. The idea that we all love so much was fought and died for by men like these. These are things that have been bled for before and, if need be, will be bled for again. The individuals in power disrespect our forefathers' memories and ruin our image. These people will be brought to justice and held accountable in a tribunal according to constitutional law and then in a world court for crimes against humanity. From this day forward, we will strive to be a truly free nation as our forefathers wanted. This means no more political corruption. In this, we demand all politicians and power holders step down for a re-election process on November 5, 2013. During said election process, the media will not participate in any coverage. This will allow for unbiased elections based on the people's actual beliefs and ideals instead of what they hear on TV. The date that we march on Washington, you will try to arrest us and charge us with felonies via executive order, H.R. 347. Maybe even treason. This is an unconstitutional order and it violates our First Amendment. We will take this as an act of treason and war towards the people. This would violate our duty as Americans to remain true to our Constitution. This constant barrage of our rights is the cause for this declaration. If on before stated date, arrests are attempted in such a fashion, we will see it as an act of treason and war. If you harm one citizen, even with non-lethal force, it will be seen as an act of treason and war against the people. If you refuse to comply with our peaceful demands, then we will force them on you via the power of the people and you will be charged with treason for failure to comply with constitutional law. We the people are the taxpayers. We the people are the ones who own this country. As such, when we the people are unhappy with the establishment due to corruption, it is our duty to destroy said establishment and rebuild one that is fit for the people. We are going to reboot our government with new controls to prevent future government corruption. Politicians are not going to be paid to do what people who truly care would do for free. Politics were never created to be a career. This document is not meant to replace our original Declaration of Independence, it is simply an addition by Anonymous. This was demanded by the people and shall be taken as a declaration that we will be free. Give us liberty or give us death. We are Anonymous. We are the people. We do not forgive. We do not forget. On November 5th, expect us.
Good evening or good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mark Flow broadcast. That message was powerful and it means it. We are the people. I've said it many times before. And I'm telling you, we do have the power. We outnumber them by so much. Do not get fat and happy. Do not get lazy. Do not sit there in fear because all they're doing is stealing from you every single day. Okay? And just to give you a little insight, I'm going to show you something that you probably don't know. And this concerns our food. And that's really important, and it's something you should know about. So, we're going to get to that story right after these messages. Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you? When you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are FEShopWorld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists, and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to FEShopWorld.webs.com. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you who know, before we start our story, FEShopWorld.webs.com is all the designs are made by 100% veterans, people that were in the military. They have a new line of Proud to be a Marine products, U.S. Air Force products. Looks like Navy, it's a painted Navy logo product, and U.S. Coast Guard. So you should check that out when you get a chance. Anyway, this story that we're going to be going to is the dangers of GM food, and I really think you should listen to it because it just goes to show you what what these companies are doing, and I bet you didn't know it, and that's why we need to get them out. Now, check out the story.
Supposed to use strong words, but these might be the basis for real ecological and health catastrophes. That's a fact.
Genetically modified organisms, or genetically modified food, from the science field called biotechnology, came out of a movement that began in the 1990s called the Gene Revolution. It is a hugely funded movement that aimed to create and distribute food that had its very genetic structure changed, supposedly to be more efficient. The real reason, of course, is for the food to be used as a weapon. Like Henry Kissinger in the early 1970s told one reporter, "If you control oil, you control nations. If you control food, you control people." Also Earl Butz told Time magazine, "Food is a weapon. It is now one of the principal tools in our negotiating kit." From Darwin's survival of the fittest principle, the rich and powerful in society do think of themselves as superior. They believe they are entitled to privileges the rest are not. For example, you have Al Gore telling people that they should not use airplanes to travel as they damage the environment. Yet you see him using a private jet to get from his house to some party in another city. A plane just for himself. Why? He believes, like every other rich or powerful, that he deserves it because he is superior. Using food as a weapon is now very simple, as most of the world's food supply is in the hands of only several corporations in the US. In 1974, Pennsylvania's Secretary of Agriculture, James McHale, pointed out that 95% of all grain reserves in the world were under the control of 6 multinational corporations, all of them based in the USA. 6 corporations in the US control the world's grain supply. This is a weapon. The following quote is from a top-secret memorandum to the Secretary of State from George Kennan in 1948. These top-secret papers, by the way, they released every 50 years or so when nobody cares about them anymore. In the future they'll probably never release anything. This is what he wrote. With this control of the world's food, by the 1990s, they began to take serious advantage of it by changing the very genes the foods are made of. Some seeds they created were sterile, so a farmer is not able to replant his crops. He has to go to the big corporation, in most cases Monsanto, and buy new seeds every time he harvests. Many diseases have arisen from these GMO foods since they were introduced. One example is the RBGH containing milk, which was the first mass-produced GMO food. The RBGH, recombinant bovine growth hormone, was made by Monsanto and sold to farmers in 1994. They told the farmers that by injecting the cows with this growth hormone, it would have an effect of a 30% increase in cow's milk. And this RBGH was later nicknamed crack for cows because of its stimulating effect in milk production. Now the milk containing RBGH, was linked to several cancers in humans. It also caused birth defects in cattle, and when it was tested in rats, it caused leukemia and tumors. The media has been very sensitive about showing negative information on GM foods. Later, the documentary titled The Mystery in Your Milk, aired on Fox, was immediately banned, and both journalists Jane Aker and Steve Wilson, who created it, were fired. To get more information on this topic, I recommend the documentary Food Inc. and the book Seeds of Destruction.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was a little bit insight into it, but you see, when they get the seeds right there, they're able to poison you, because they're making the farmers buy seeds from these companies, which they could be able to go to seeds like in an apple. When you plant an apple tree, there's seeds already in the apple. It's nature's way. But they stop from doing it. That's why you have to get these idiots out. Take these companies down. Destroy them. Because all they're doing is hurting you. Destroy them. We got the power to. They're going to see how much power we have when we stand together. But there's seeds in every single faction of fruit, vegetables, where they can replant and the food will be better. And they even tell farmers not to plant. And that's why they control the money of it, making the prices go up and down when they would have no control if the farmers were just doing their job and planting the food to begin with. It's about time we get these guys out. And it's really important because food's important. You know, there used to be an old saying, I don't live to eat, but I eat to live. And food is one of our bare necessities we need. Before we go to the next story, let's take a commercial break. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com. Tired of throwing away all your hard-earned money to the global bankers for games? Tired of all the money you're shelling out for old classic games? Then stop catering to the global bankers and go to MegaGamePortal.com. That's MegaGamePortal.com, where you can get a great selection of classic games with no trojans, spyware, viruses, and you can get them at the best prices digitally downloaded to your computer. Go to MegaGamePortal.com today. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This next story is going to be some parts of it. I'm going to warn you now that it's kind of explicit, okay? I'm not talking about language, but you can actually hear, but it's where these police officers, did something that really they shouldn't do. But this story has to get out because it's something that's important to all of us. So let's go to it right now, and you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, let me ask this: are you placing me under arrest?
You are under arrest.
And what crime? What crime am I being charged with?
Hey, these guys are telling me that a canine alerted to your vehicle for the presence.
And I've asked repeatedly for that dog to be brought back out because I say that it didn't happen. And they are refusing to get the dog back out because they know that they're not telling the truth.
You can do one.
Because I wouldn't answer their questions, they came up with that.
Or I'm going to take you out of the car.
Well, let me ask this. When you place someone under arrest, don't you have to put them under arrest for something specific?
Okay, I'm a police officer. I'm ordering you out of the car.
Will you answer my question, police officer?
Yes, I'm a police
What
officer.
are you placing me under arrest for?
You're fair to obey me right now.
So I have to obey you by law?
Yes, you should.
Even when you're stopping me without cause?
Hey, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Hit low right here, you'll be fine. I'm
not disperse, you may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
I'm speechless. I am.
Yo, I got the grenade. Grenade. This is the grenade that they're saying.
This is a point I think is very important to stress to those in uniform and to those in the dark suits in government who are serving this system while not actually instigating it, they're serving it. You have no power. I don't care if you're in the military. I don't care if you've got how many kind of stars on your uniform. I don't care what level of the police force you're in. I don't care if you're doing roadblocks. I don't care if you're pulling people off the street. I don't care what you're doing. You have no power. Your uniform has the power. Take your uniform off, okay? Put it in the wardrobe. Where's your power? Go and get another job without that uniform. Where's your power? You have no power. You are employed to animate that uniform, which is an extension of the state, and that's all you are, and therefore you are expendable. While you give your soul away, while you give your mind away, while you give your morals and decency away, advancing this fascist dictatorship, you will be okay with the fascists that you're serving. But your children and your grandchildren have to live in the world you are creating. And one day you're going to have to understand that, and I don't envy you that moment, because it's going to be horrific when it dawns upon you the world that you've actually created. The people in uniform and the dark suits that administer the system while not being the originators of it, they have to start breaking ranks, okay? Get some backbone, open your mind, look at what's going on, and get some frickin' backbone before you administer and impose and enforce a world that will be grotesque for your children and grandchildren. In fact, not even that, for yourself.
All right, folks, welcome back. You gotta think about that a minute, okay? Because you gotta remember something too. Let's start at the beginning. That Constitution gives us the power, okay? The reason why those rights are in there, the Constitution was written the way it was because of one good reason as far as law enforcement goes. They did not want the police powers to be like the Gestapo, okay? So that means we have the power. They don't. If they took that uniform off and go to another job, they wouldn't have any power. You're going to have to understand where the laws are and what it means. It's really important that we stand together, because this system was meant for us to be free. That much you should already know, okay? We are supposed to be free with what our founding fathers put together, alright? And just think about this in a minute, okay? These words, written the way it was, is just for the Constitution. We'll just take the preamble. No words should be as powerful as that, because it's very powerful to heart, especially when it means. It says, "We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. To ourselves and our prosperity do we ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America." Okay? That's the whole soul of what our country is, okay, and something really important, okay, and it breaks down the legislature branch and everything there, and you can see that they've been overstepping their boundaries, and it's enough, okay. On the Bill of Rights, I mean, if you look at the one that they're talking about the most, okay, the Second Amendment, okay, the Second Amendment, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It means the people are the militia for that state. It doesn't mean the military by the government. It means the people are the militia for that state to prevent the government from doing what they want. Okay? And it's really important that you should know this, because if we all took the time, if we all knew this from the back of our hands centuries ago, these scumbags would have never gotten as far as they've gotten. Okay? They've gotten pretty far. I mean, pretty far. And I'm just as much to blame as anybody else. Okay? But that's neither here nor there. We can't dwell on the past. We got to think about the future. We have to get these people out of office, get these companies that are hoarding that thing, destroy them, and not allow them to work in the United States anymore, because they are not in the interest for the American people. Okay? We're going to go over a few things so you know as soon as we come back. Let's go to a commercial break. Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you when you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are FEShopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists and stop catering to the crisis. Make a difference today. Go to FEShopworld.webs.com. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's really important we do. I mean, you can see what these guys have been doing for so long. These scumbags have been doing this for so long. I think they've lost their all sense of actual reality. I really think so, because to even think about doing what they're doing, okay, that alone should tell you how bad these guys are, okay? And I think that what you have to realize is that we've let these people get away with it for so long that it's not even funny. It shouldn't even be allowed. These people have screwed up what our country was, okay? They've screwed up exactly what our founding fathers wanted. Our founding fathers believed that we were free, and we are. President John F. Kennedy, the last real American president of this country, was warning you about the secret societies and secret oaths and secret proceedings. And it was really important. And he wasn't talking about the communists. He was talking about a group of criminals that was slowly taking over our country. And now that technology is in our favor, we have a way to get them back. In this election, this is what we have to do. Get rid of the politicians. Put people in there that's going to do the job. Get rid of them. They've already proven they're useless. They've proven they're not for the American people. Now it's time for every single American to take their responsibility as an American and uphold the Constitution and get these guys out of here. And that's what's important, because these people, which we were born into a system that's been corrupted, these people are destroying what's left of our country. And soon, if not stopped, we won't have any rights. That's why it's time. Stand up. Take your American civic duty and fire them. put somebody in there who's going to get the job done. Because, let's put it this way, how would you feel? You're a grandmother, and you look at your sons or daughters and their grandchildren in a tyranny country that at one time was free. And when they found out one time was free, and they look right in your eyes and say, Grandpa, why didn't you do anything to stop it? You have to look in that child's eyes. How are you going to feel? Most people nowadays would be cowards anyways and would say, I can't do nothing. Well, you could. You're just afraid. There's no need to be afraid. There's a need for action. We cannot allow these people anymore to destroy what good country this is. There's a lot of people that have died fighting for the rights, Bill of Rights, Constitution, for your freedom to enjoy, to give your kids the life that you want to give them. Free to move about the cabin, as they say. Be able to go in any state, be able to drive any place you want to go on vacation, pack up the kids, go. That's what it's all about. How would you feel if you lost it? And that's not a subject for debate. Our founding fathers were committing high treason. They really were. Because if you remember in history, the British had this country. The stupid Queen, which she's still stupid anyway, but the Queen ran it. And we had double taxation without representation. Then you had the good old happy Tea Party days where they dumped the teas in the Boston River. That was the start. But they continue to fight to give our country freedom. And when they made that document, it was so important because that document not only disempowered them, but it kept them at bay because they could never do it again. And now they're finding ways to trick, deceive, to lie, and to take everything of yours. What do they tell you? Driving is a privilege, right? So you don't own your driver's license. They can take it away. You don't really own your house because you're not paying your tax on your land. They can take it away. So what do you own? If they can always take it away, obviously it's not much. That's why it's more important for your freedom. Because these people will stop at nothing to have their one world company or one world government, call it what you want, and take away every single right. Do you know that if they did the North American Union with Canada and Mexico, I mean, Alex Jones covered that a little bit, a few others did too, but think about this a minute. If you create a North American Union, Canada and Mexico, which is the dumbest thing ever, what happens is that Constitution becomes null and void, and that's why they were trying to pass it through so quick. But, you know, George Bush Jr., W, ain't really that bright. Not thousands of people hated him. So he wasn't able to get away with it. And you can't let him get away with it. You can't let these people thrive. You're going to have to stand up for what you have to believe in and fight for this country. Fight for you. Fight for your freedom. That's what we're all doing. Protecting the Constitution and this land. And it's really important. Alright? Let's take a commercial break real quick. Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you when you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are FEShopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to FEShopworld.webs.com. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com. Alright, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you a little piece of advice, okay? There's a lot of things that's, going on. We've got to take responsibility. We've got to start looking at it. What we're going to do is, I think we got a better advantage now, and I think we have it better than we did a long time ago. I mean, because if you think about the 40s, everybody believed the government, because why would they lie? Why would they lie? Now, we got the technology to throw it right back at them. I'm not really a fan of Facebook. I'm really not. Haven't been. We got Twitter we can keep in mind, but we really got to keep edge on these guys, find out where they're meeting. And the next step is being able to expose a little bit. I mean, Alex Jones covered the Bavarian Grove. Okay, he did a really good job. It was a really good show. Some of the footage, I mean, it's hard to see, but you can get the main idea. But reality-wise, if you haven't seen the Bavarian Grove, look it up on YouTube, and it shows you what these leaders are doing. I mean, it sounds like something out of a Charmed, but it's real. Okay, these guys have their Satanistic rituals, the cremation of car, all this stuff is there in the Bavarian Grove, and those are your leaders. And what you heard last night was exactly true. Mainstream media covered, oh well, they denied it for years. They denied Area 51 for years. They denied, because that's all they do is lie. Don't believe anything the media tells you. Don't believe anything the government tells you. As funny as it sounds, George Carlin had it right. And he might have joked about it, but when he said, don't really make a good American because he likes to form his own opinions, and he has two rules. He had rule number one, he didn't believe anything the government told him. Not once. Nothing. Zilch. And that's what you should do. I mean, not to be ironic or think of anything else, but I think some of you guys can remember Bill Clinton saying this famous line that he did was when he, on national television, looked into the camera and said, yes, I smoked marijuana, but I never inhaled. I don't know about you, but that was a cause for a lot of me and my buddies. We were laughing, because that would have had to be the most stupidest statement I ever heard in my entire life, especially coming from somebody who is supposed to represent us, the people. We the people. That's why we need to get them out. We're going to do it. Not we have to. We're going to. We're going to put people in there that the people have to decide, because the system has failed. And not only that, but you got to think about this on another viewpoint. Okay? Some of the people I went to school with, I'm pretty sure they own businesses. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that own businesses. Well, just think about this. Are you going to send somebody to represent your company that's a complete moron? No. You're going to choose somebody who's going to be able to promote your company, not just by the person's knowledge, but because that person has pride in his or her company, and that's the person you chose because that's the best one for the job. So if you think about this on another scale, not one of these idiots would I want representing me. I mean, Mitt Romney? No. Obama? Definitely not. So these people are representing us in other countries, all across the board, and they are definitely not the brightest and not the best that this country has to offer. They shouldn't be there. The system has failed. It's corrupted. And it is our chance. We have the ability. We have the power. We can do it. This is a team effort. Every American citizen has a responsibility to uphold that Constitution, take care of your people, and ensure our rights and freedoms. It is mine, it is my family's, it is yours, it is your family's. It is everybody's, because we live in this country. And if you think about it, there are people in other countries, and I'm not kidding, there's people in other countries that would come and fight right by your side. Because nobody on this planet with an ounce of a brain likes the globalists. I'm very 100% sure that if they all died from cancer, nobody in the world would lose any sleep. And I'm sorry that sounds cruel, but it's absolutely true. Because they've done so much damage. They've shown so much destruction. Killed innocent people. Created wars for money. Funded both sides of the war. And created the biggest illusion, the biggest fraud. The IRS and the Federal Reserve. The biggest fraud. Now you think about this. These fruitcakes are having all of us, or trying to keep all of us, fighting amongst each other for the stupidest things: race, creed, religion, beliefs, social class, gender. And the whole time that you're arguing over stuff that's meaningless, they have been, and still are trying, to rip you off and go all the way to the bank with your money, and you have no fucking idea it's gone because you were too busy fighting because this guy is Hispanic or black, or you're fighting against him because he's white. Something that has no bearing on anything. It's irrelevant, it's stupid, it's childish, it shouldn't even be an issue. We need to stand together. We need to stand together, and we can get these guys out really simple. Because these guys are not that bright. If you look at everything they've done, and I can just see a lot of the older generation, including my dad before he passed away, God rest his soul. My dad, when he would look at the news and look at what he's going, the first thing out of his mouth is, what the hell? They can't do that. He knew they couldn't do it. He knew it was stupid. So, if that's the case, and there's a lot of people say, instead of saying, now it's time for action. It is not time to stand around. It is not time to give speeches. It is not time just to have the words. Because actions always speak louder than words. And now we're going to do the action. There's not going to be any second thoughts. This is our country. We want to keep our freedoms. We want to keep the rights that our founding fathers put in there. They risked their lives, and if they can do it, damn it, so can we. Because we're not any better. They had a responsibility, so do we. It's our turn. It's our turn to make this right. It's time to disempower these guys, and we can do it. Let their actions dictate your reactions. Right? Let's take a last commercial break and give you some feedback on what's coming up. And after these messages. Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you? When you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are effyshopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists, and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to effyshopworld.webs.com. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories the corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com. Tired of throwing away all your hard-earned money to the global bankers for games? Tired of all the money you're shelling out for old classic games? Then stop catering to the global bankers and go to MegaGamePortal.com. That's MegaGamePortal.com, where you can get a great selection of classic games with no trojans, spyware, viruses, and you can get them at the best prices digitally downloaded to your computer. Go to MegaGamePortal.com today. Alright folks, we're back. Just to let you know, there was a word in my radio broadcast that we're looking into a program that could be worked on Windows and Linux as far as a phone to get people to call in. I want to hear your opinions because I'm looking forward to it. We're still looking into it. We were thinking about Magic Jack, however that does not work in Linux, that we've been able to do it. We're going to try and experiment with that for a little bit. We'll let you know, keep you up to breast. Second thing we're going to do is we're looking at people to find out, and we're looking into this too, but finding out where these guys, these Bilderberg idiots, are meeting. Okay? And I'm making a comment to the militia that's out there because people just like us, okay? We protest. We need the militia out there. Keep the police in check because those are our rights. Our right to assemble, our right to free speech, our right to protest. And that's what we have to do. We got to find out where these banker bastards are meeting. I'm still looking, and we have the ability to look into that. And that's what we're going to do, because that's what I'm working on. I am working on to get out there. I am working on a lot of things, and that's exactly what I do. And that goes out. That message goes out to everybody. Find out. Let's get out there and get it, because we were able to do a lot. Everybody, every journalist, every single person, from Alex Jones to 9/11 Truth, We Are Change, all got to them. They were all questioning. They didn't hold back the questions. They asked the questions that the media will not ask, okay? Because it's contractual, okay? And the media does not cover anything that we need to know. Nothing. That's why I've stayed with alternative media. That's why I broadcast, because these are the issues that's important. These are things that we have to know, okay? I'm not really a big fan on finding out that Lady Gaga or Justin Bieber's girlfriend's pregnant. Celebrity brainwashing is completely pathetic. It's pathetic. You know, I haven't really watched TV in years. I don't miss it either. At all. Don't miss it at all. Because the media never gives you the real news. They never give you real news. They never tell you the true story. And in the first Persian Gulf, actually it was the second one, I'm sorry. In the second one, Iraqi freedom, even while I was in, you can always turn on the TV, even when you're off in garrison somewhere, always turn on the TV, and what are they doing? They're broadcasting the war on every channel and cable. It was the biggest ratings there were because it was pathetic. The media only acted as an unofficial public relations people for the Department of Defense. And that's why the media has lost all credibility with me until they bring the stories of the truth and tell the Bilderberg to fuck the hell off. Because they don't own us. We own the politicians. It is our tax dollar that pays their salary. We are their boss. They need to do the job according to the Constitution, according to the Bill of Rights, according to the Declaration of Independence. If they don't do it, it's out. And that's why this election, get our people in. Do not listen to the hype. Do not listen to the brainwashing. Do not listen to the garbage. And I'm all for the media, the corporate media, not knowing shit. I'm all for it. Because they never tell the truth anyway. So it's our time. It is our place. It is our country. It is our responsibility. So let's make a difference. That's what it's about. Let's make a difference. Alright? Alright, folks. We're going to end this a little early. Tomorrow we broadcast at 1. And Saturday and Sunday, broadcast live at 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday live at 7. Alright? Like I said, I'm ending a little early, but you have a good night. And Remember what I say. Let's take care of our country. Alright? God bless you.